Hi, everyone. Welcome to episode 8 of Money Talks. I'm Jedediah Thomas.
Hello, JT, and I am Asen Kirillov.
Awesome.
And
So, we're going to talk about personal branding today, online, offline, and everything in between. And personal branding does not mean heating up a hot iron and shoving your face in it.
I'm glad you cleared that up
That's
because
just a little different.
some people will
What?
take that too literally.
Right. We're not making cattle here. We are making business owners. We are making magnates. We are making people that are going to rock the socks of this world. And personal branding is a huge key to that. So,
Absolutely.
um, what are your thoughts on personal branding?
Well, let's bring it down to the basics. To me, personally, personal branding and branding in general means something that differentiates you from the rest, whether it could be anything. It could be you could brand yourself with the clothing that you're wearing. You could brand yourself with a certain hat that you're wearing. You could brand yourself as colors, specific colors that you use in your logos, in your clothing line, and um, you know, uh, even how your logo looks to be able to portray your brand in a particular way. So to me, that's what personal branding is. It's something that differentiates you from everyone else. It's something that makes you stand out as a company, as a brand, as a person. Now, what does personal branding mean to you?
Well, it it is a way to make yourself be different, but and to me, it's also who you are. It reflects your values. I mean, your values may be similar to other people, but you can have a completely different personal brand. It just resonates with who you are, and everything flows from that. You know who you are, you know what problem you solve, you know who you serve, and everything about your marketing, your sales, everything flows from that as a source.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. I mean, we could really spend the next 30 to 45 minutes explaining this all to you guys. But realistically speaking, we would rather take this up a notch, make it fun for you guys, because realistically speaking, I don't want and JT doesn't want you guys listening or watching this to be bored out of your minds with technical terms and stuff like that. So we're going to break this down, introduce a few strategies on how you can actually uh, bring your personal brand to a whole new level to be able to help you, even if it's just if you're trying to monetize it. you know um, we're going to try and introduce a way to you guys that will hopefully not just provide you value, it will provide you substance, it will provide you information that will help you think about what it is that you're doing, so that next time you decide to put a post on Facebook or create a new piece of content, that particular type of content needs to resonate with the way that you're trying to make yourself look out into the social space, or potentially to your next client. So just to start us off, JT's got a few things to tell you. Then I'm going to jump in, and obviously we'll discuss that from there onwards. So JT, mic's yours.
Sure. Okay. So I guess we'll start with like in-person branding. Some of you might be an online business, some of you might not. To cater to all audiences, I want to talk about in-person branding. So that is a culmination of your tonality, your body language, and your appearance. Okay. So as an example, let's say a CEO of, Fortune 500 company, millionaire, billionaire, whatever, goes to the doctor's office. Okay. In the CEO's world, they have complete authority over everyone and everything around them. They are God in their own microcosm, but they
Yep.
go to a doctor's office. Okay. And this doctor now has complete control and authority over the CEO. Okay. So if a clean cut doctor walks in, well dressed, sharp, wears the white lab coat, comes in, says, "Hi, I'm Dr. Johnson. I need you to submit to a routine test. I need you to turn around, bend over, pull your pants down, and you're going to feel something cold back
Whoa,
there.
whoa, 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 hold on.
Okay. And if the tonality, the body language is right, okay, you're not going to be happy about it by any means, but the doctor knows best, right? So, okay. Now here's a plot twist. Let's say that person had never set foot in medical school a day of their life. Well, you would still submit because their tonality was right, their body language was right, and their appearance was right. All said doctor. Okay. Now let's say, he leaves the room and the real doctor comes in, unshaven, unkempt, slouching, everything is untucked. You're going to be like, okay, this doctor doesn't know what he's doing. Like, who is this guy? Like, can someone, come and get this bum out of my room? But he spent 15 years in medical school. He's like the top expert in his field, but it's his authority isn't there. His personal branding is zero. And then you have, let's say, the third possibility. You have a doctor, he looks the part, but he comes in and he says, hey, what's a skeleton's favorite snack? Ribs. You're going to be clicking the red button like, nurse, get the heck out of here, this guy's nuts. Okay, so it's so important. It doesn't matter where you come from, who you are, what your experience is. It matters how you hold yourself as a person. You have to act like an expert, carry yourself like an expert, look like an expert, and you will be treated like an expert.
Absolutely. Oh my God, I can't actually believe that you used those particular things as an example. But I absolutely loved it. That was on point.
Well, they're not going to forget it, are they?
Absolutely. Exactly. See, this is what we're talking about. So it's not just about the way that you look to people. Okay. It's about your attitude. Okay. It's about, like JT said, tonality. These are all important things because everyone that looks at you in the way you stand, the way you dress, the way you speak, the type of things you say will define in their mind who you are. Okay, now the biggest problem with that is that once that happens, you're not able to change that regardless of what you say, the type of content you put out there. That's why people say that once it's on the internet, it's never going away. Okay, so you need to think about the type of things that you're trying to put out on social media, especially because this is the type of space that we operate on our day-to-day. So you need to think about the content that you're putting out there. It's not just about the quality, it's about the quantity. Eventually, the quality will get better. But those two things need to come at some sort of level, okay? Whether you're trying to pump out content as much as possible to be able to get your quality level up, or it's the other way around. Whether you put out so much, you may not even have a lot of content going out, but the quality is amazing, okay? Whatever you do, those two things need to always join up at some point or another. Okay, because if you're constantly putting out content, like we mentioned in previous episodes, if you're not using the 3 points of selling, you're going to be losing out on clients. Okay, realistically speaking, that's exactly what's going to happen. This is where personal branding is going to be a big thing for you guys, because it's not just a representation of who you are, but it's also a representation of what you stand for, what you believe in, the type of materials that you're producing on a daily basis. And we've spoken about this in content marketing and content creation, which was the last episode. If you guys haven't heard it yet, feel free to check it out. It's episode 7 on the podcast and on Facebook and other platforms as well that we pumped out. So focus on those type of things, okay? If you're trying to portray yourself as a professional in your field, regardless of the niche that you're in, you need to be producing content relevant to that type of niche, to your particular brand. Okay, don't try and steer away from that one particular fine line that you're trying to go on, because the moment you do, you're going to start portraying yourself as something completely different. People are going to start seeing you different. One day you could be saying that you're a professional in financing. Next day you could be a professional plumber. Okay. There's a big difference between the two. So you need to focus on exactly what it is that you're trying to put out there. Okay, your content is going to speak for you. This is where personal branding is a big factor. Do you agree?
Absolutely. And what people have to realize is, your online profile, whatever platform you use, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, whatever, is your storefront. Okay, so this goes back to the days of brick and mortar businesses where you're walking down the street and you pass by a window and it has, say, an advertisement or some kind of special that catches your eye.
Mm-hmm.
So it brings your focus onto this store. And then what you see inside, how the workers are dressed, how the customers, if they look happy, you know everything about that store before you even walk into it. Okay.
Absolutely.
And your online presence has to be the same thing. You have to have something that catches people's interests. And when they take note of you, you have to be professional. You have to have happy customers, ideally testimonials if you've, got that far in your sales cycle. And you want to draw people in and give them a personal experience that they will remember. And that's exactly what a storefront is meant to do. You see, okay, they have this new ice cream. And that sounds interesting. Let me go inside and see what about this ice cream flavor. And then you're looking at the menu and you say, well, this other ice cream flavor sounds even better, so let me try that. And the funny thing is, they got you in on this sale or this advertisement, and you don't even buy the thing that they were advertising. But because it was so well done, it conveyed the entire essence of that company to you. You go in and you become now a customer, and you might come back 5 or 6 more times and try different kinds of ice cream.
Exactly. See, similar type of example happened to me the other day. So I went to the store, right? And I can't even remember what the hell I went in there for, but I went in there for something, right? So I went and grabbed the something that I went in there for. And at the same time, I remembered, oh, right, I needed something else as well. So I grabbed something else. Keep in mind, I didn't even take a basket with me or a trolley or anything like that, right? So I'm walking through the store and there's this huge pile of goods that I'm trying to, balance and everything. And the idea of what JT basically just said and where I'm going with this particular story is that if you're a storefront, you are, like JT said, trying to advertise something. It could be a variety of goods, but inevitably it is something that you're trying to focus on to grab people's attention so that they can walk into the store. Now, there's a big difference between the storefront and a 7-Eleven, okay? You don't want to turn into a convenience store, okay? If you turn into a convenience store, you've already lost, okay? So try and focus on creating information, posts, social media stuff, videos, podcast, whatever it is that you guys are doing. Focus on the important stuff that is going to make your brand pop. Okay. And that's the thing. People are looking for something different. People aren't looking for the same thing again and again and again. If someone's already bought 15 educational courses, they're not going to go and buy another one if it looks exactly the same as everybody else. You want to make it different. You think about the type of originality, because originality sells. Think what you can use as an individual to be able to provide that type of content to people. That's the important thing.
Absolutely. And it reminds me of a movie I saw fairly recently. I don't know for legal reasons if I can actually say the actual name. So I'll say it rhymes with The Flounder, and it's about a company that rhymes with McDonald's. Hopefully you know what I'm talking about. But
that's a good movie.
The gentleman, lawyers unite, right? So the gentleman on the movie, it's about him building his own personal brand that ends up going global and becoming an extremely successful corporation. And his number one thing, well, two things that were of utmost importance to him was the symbol and the name. And that's all about the brand. Of course, they had exceptional service and, fast serving for fast food, but he was all about, he specifically mentioned in the movie, he wants to replace religion with his symbol, the golden arch. And, that speaks to me like this is a bridge to the future. This is, something that will stand out in a desert of commerce and be the oasis that people flock to. It's an immediately recognizable symbol anywhere you go. And people come because of that symbol, because of that name, And, obviously they're extremely successful, but that is the epitome of personal branding. You want to be so you that everyone knows you at first glance.
Exactly. So that's the type of thing that you guys want to focus on. Okay. Like me and JT, we, although are in a sense combining forces to be able to provide you this type of information, okay, we are doing it from one main purpose. Okay. The reason being is that we want to help you become better at what you're doing. Okay. And yes, probably a lot of you are going to watch this and go, that's not true. They're doing it for the money. They're doing it. No, the reality is there's a lot of people out there that will put up this type of materials and try and sell you crap all the time. The difference is we are not doing that. Okay. So there's not going to be, something at the end of this video to say, here, buy my stuff. Okay.
Gotcha.
The point of this video is to clarify things for you because there's a lot of misinformation out there. Okay. People will try and teach you stuff that will have zero to do with what you're actually trying to do. That's why we're doing segments on different factors surrounding marketing, surrounding affiliate marketing, and other areas in this particular niche, the MMO niche, which is the making money online niche, if you guys don't know what that means. Okay. It's to help you guys. So focus on personal branding and the important things that will create something that is different from everybody else. That's what you got to focus on. Okay. It's not difficult to do. Okay. If you think of anything, I mean, look, you see this? Okay. What does this portray to you guys? Okay. My background alone is part of my identity. Okay. To anyone watching this, I'm sure by now you figured out I love music, right? There's a reason behind that. Okay. Because it's something that I want you to understand. I mean, okay, yep, JT's background includes a door, which
It's because I'm a square.
believe me, is anything but a square. The fact is, whatever you're doing, however you're doing it, whether it's the type of clothing that you're wearing, the type of branding that you're showing, the type of background that you have, no matter what you're doing, it's all part of your personal brand. So try and emphasize on those type of things.
Yeah,
Anything
and I
else you
just
want to
want to
include?
add a little bit to that, what you're saying about, we're not trying to sell you. We believe in true abundance and we believe in capitalism. And capitalism doesn't mean that, if we make you the best at your field, now we've created competition. No, it doesn't mean that, because our brand is strong enough on its own that,
Exactly.
you're already our customer. Just,
Mm-hmm.
consuming our content and, enjoying the information that we have to share with you. But if you become the best at you do, um, the best of anyone in your field, because of the things that we teach you, you may be the next person that creates, rocket that will travel intergalactic, I don't know the words there, but you could be a creator, you could be an inventor, you could create the next business that will become customers of. We want to create the best of the best because we're not all doing the same thing. We want you to expand your lives and expand the lives of those around you so that we can actually elevate everything about the world. We're not creating competition, we are creating the future.
Absolutely. That's exactly why we've joined forces to bring you this type of information free of charge. Do you get it? No one's paying for this. The whole idea here is for you to learn something new or possibly create something different. By doing that, we have helped every single one of you. If at least one person watching this video actually does this and applies what they've seen in this video today to their next post tomorrow, or the information that they're going to pump out tomorrow on social media, or even walking around talking to people, we've done our job. All right, let's get to the nitty gritty. Right,
The
okay.
secret sauce.
The secret sauce. Right, seeing as we do actually have a little bit more time. Sorry, I didn't even check the clock. We can actually focus on a few takeaways from personal branding in general. Some of the stuff that we've just discussed, but there is something which we actually discussed prior to recording, and it was the different types of personal brand that you could be. Okay, and realistically speaking, there's only 6. Okay, so it's not a lot. Shouldn't confuse you guys too much, but we do. Well, I feel like we should probably share them. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. We don't have to go into, too much detail on them because it is a little bit complicated, but at least
True.
just kind of cover the topics and give a little general description. And if people are interested, they can let us know. Depending on the platform, like, subscribe, follow us, and you can actually suggest that we go into more detail on, any specific topic that we discuss. We'll be more than happy to put out some more content on it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay. Well, we'll kind of delve into these a little quick. Just summarize them basically, so that we're not taking too much of your time up. So, in reality, there's only 6, like I mentioned. We have the altruist. So, altruists, for those of you that don't know what the meaning of the word is, are basically individuals who are highly recognized for their commitment to helping others. Okay, pretty much
Yeah,
like
these
me
would be
and
like philanthropists and magnanimous people, right?
exactly. Number 2 is careerists. Okay, so the careerists are those who are shown preference for professional advancement above all personal achievements. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. I don't think we really need to delve into that too much. And
Yeah,
we've
when
got
I
the
hear
number.
that, I hear like CPAs and lawyers and engineers, like
Hmm,
people that are always in a suit, but they're not CEOs or whatever. They're just like professional employees that are like the top of their field.
definitely, definitely. And then we've got number 3, the hipster. And I'm not talking about the long dreaded hair and stuff like that. Okay, so get that out of your mind. I'm talking about the hipster being, well, that particular type of branding actually refers to a recognized subculture of progressive individuals who embrace individuality above everything else. Okay, so they focus a lot more on what they can provide. Okay, rather than how do I explain this? The term in itself comes from the jazzy age. Okay, if you guys know what that means. Modern hipsters are usually associated like young millennials, and that word gets thrown a lot around. And I know, believe me. But these are basically people who chew on the mainstream, okay, who tend to concentrate a lot more on what's happening in today rather than taking out experience from pasts from stuff that's happened in the past basically. So yeah, they can adopt a particular aspect of both altruism and careerism, combine the two, and for them sharing is seen as an essential part of their existence basically.
Right.
um,
And what speaks to me about that specifically is like coaches, especially like
mm,
law of attraction coaches, spirituality coaches, like all these kind of like niche coaching people that have this like, their own spin on something that's definitely not like mainstream, but it's their own microcosm of that experience.
Absolutely, absolutely. So this next one, which is number 4, is one for the Aussies, which is called the boomerang. I'm sure you guys are familiar with that term. You know what it is. So I'm not going to explain that. But the boomerang brand type refers to people who share content and generate interactions simply to create discord through controversy. Okay. Now we've all met these type of people. We all know who they are in our space. So basically they choose the type of information to pass on just to be able to stir. So we all know those type of people.
Yeah, these are typically going to be the people that post like controversial, political, religious things that just completely go against the grain and get people upset, commenting out of anger instead of appreciation, and just generates a lot of buzz about their topic by really rubbing people the wrong way, usually.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then there's the people like me and JT. Okay. So we are the connectors. Okay. We bring people together. We are unifiers, so to speak. Okay, so these are usually individuals who are well connected and openly use their networks to unite people. Okay, which is what we are doing right now. Okay, we're typically creative. Okay, we obtain validation and satisfaction through each other. That's why we work so well together, if you guys haven't noticed. And then there is the last one, which is, how do I put this? The selective, let's call it that, because it's super simple to describe it that way. So that's basically a person who shares information with only specific people. Okay, these usually carefully curate information based on general needs and interests to target their specific audience. Okay, so you guys have to kind of sit down and decide who it is that your brand, well, no, sorry, apologies. What it is, what your brand actually is. So who are you out of those six? Are you a selective? Are you a connector? Are you the boomerang? Are you the hipster or the careerist or even the altruist? You guys need to differentiate all of those and determine exactly who you are that you're trying to portray yourself as. The moment you do that, you're going to start receiving clarity. You're going to start focusing on, portraying that particular type of picture to your audience. And the more you do, the more you solidify that type of picture, the more the reality of you being able to sell content to people is going to be factual and actual. And it's going to happen, but you need to stick to that particular bit. Don't try and explore all of the different options. Don't get the, what was it called? The shiny object syndrome, where you think that something else is going to be better than what you're doing already. So focus on what you know.
It is greener on the other side of the fence only because they're tending to their garden.
Exactly. You want to be successful, you got to put in the work. It's not going to work otherwise. It's just not going to happen. That's why me and JT, we constantly educate ourselves on different topics surrounding our particular space. We tend to provide the quality information to you guys so that you don't just sit there and watch us or listen to us and go, what the hell are these guys talking about? This is stuff that should be resonating with every single one of you guys because it's stuff that's important. So try and remember it.
And if you're having trouble figuring out which type you are, like it's not super critical. It's not something you have to overthink. It's really what you're doing naturally. Like when you put out content, what are you automatically doing? Because I'm a natural connector, and I didn't literally find this out till like less than a week ago. But I've been doing it my entire life very effectively. I have like 20, 30 multi-millionaires' personal phone numbers in my phone from different things that I've been a part of. And it's not something that I really thought of, but I specialize in bringing people together naturally. Like, oh, this, oh, you both, can meet each other, and then you benefit each other. And I didn't know that there was a name for it. I didn't know that it was a thing until just recently. And I'm like, wow, like, how can I turn this into something we can make money with?
Exactly. You see, and there is a business in what we do, which is obviously why we do what we do. But the reality is we don't just bring people together. We create connections. We create relationships. We are the stronghold behind those relationships. So if we can create a business for you guys by using the knowledge that we have and using the tools that we can provide, then by all means, feel free to get in touch with us, and we'll do our very best to be able to help you out however we can. Obviously, keep in mind, we are very busy, but we will get back to you at some point. Anything else you want to include into this episode, JT?
I don't know. I think this was a really good overview of a lot of different things. And like I mentioned earlier, follow us, let us know what you want to hear about, because, without your feedback, we could talk about anything from, a grain of sand to Godzilla or anything in between. And, we want to serve you. So let us know.
Absolutely.
Like, subscribe, follow us. Let us know, find us on Facebook, shoot us a message, leave a comment, tell us what you want to hear about, and then we'll be able to fill out the content in that area a little better to meet your needs.
Absolutely. And for those of you that are listening on any of the major platforms, please follow us on, obviously on Facebook. You're free to join the Facebook groups. You've got Online Wealth Machine with JT, and GENSPI is going to be launching at the end of this month. So I hope you guys are pumped and ready, because the amount of content that we have in both groups will literally blow your minds. In the meantime, I hope that everyone is staying safe and keeping well. Like JT said, if you guys have any questions or queries, feel free to let us know, and we will do our best to help you guys out. I would say peace for now, and hope you guys stay well.